Let's get ready to rumble!
Scientology's Foundation for a Drug-Free World. What is it? What's their purpose? And are they active in the Niagara region here in Ontario, Canada? My name is Phil Jones. I was in Scientology for 40 years and I've been out for over a decade and fighting against Scientology abuses ever since. Drug-Free World, the Foundation for a Drug-Free World, is a Scientology front group that aligns itself with the idea of getting people off drugs, getting kids off drugs, and or preventing kids from going on drugs. But it's all with incorrect information. It's all been proven false, and there's a lot of scientific documentation that has shown that what they provide is false. They have booklets. They do talks in schools and lectures and various organizations around the country. They're very active here in the Niagara Falls, Niagara region, here in Ontario, Canada. And there are three main purposes. One is for PR reasons, just to make themselves look legitimate. The other is for fundraising. They can show to their donors that they're actually seemingly doing something. And the other is for recruitment. And now the proof that it's recruitment is that's how I ended up getting in there. When I was a kid in school, there were Scientology did a drug lecture, and that's where I was recruited as a child, and I got stuck in it for 40 years. So definitely those drug lectures that they do for schools and various organizations are definitely a recruitment tool by Scientology. In the Niagara region, they are very active, and one of the main people actually in Niagara region who does the lectures and passes out these booklets and brochures that they have with all the false information about drug use is Gwen Van Cleef, who is actually my sister. She's a Scientologist, hardcore, OT8, which is the top of the Scientology bridge. She's a top Scientologist, and she's very active in promoting their Foundation for a Drug-Free World. Now, what they do is, what she does is she'll do lectures in schools, and now she lives in Niagara Falls as well as I do, but I haven't seen her for, well, actually even since we moved here and 5.5 years ago. Not seen her once. They will not. They've got us blocked on Facebook and all the social media and stuff. But she's got her and her husband have a campground in Niagara Falls, and they're still in Scientology because if you go into their campground, they have on the sides of their trash cans L. Ron Hubbard quotes, and it seems to me a little appropriate that Hubbard's quotes are on the side of a trash can. So, as far as the campground goes, I don't know if that raises any eyebrows for any of the people who stay there. But anyway, so a couple of things that were seen on social media, for, like, my sister Gwen has a kind of a team, I guess, where my brother, who is also a Scientologist, OT3, which is fairly high on the Scientology bridge, and then one of her stepsons, her husband's son, also. And one of the things that he had posted on social media at one point was an image of their Foundation for a Drug-Free World. And this is a direct quote from what he put on there. Educating 10-year-olds from Niagara truth about drugs. So they are targeting, Foundation for a Drug-Free World is targeting 10-year-old kids in schools. And what they're doing also is lectures around various organizations and schools. And a quote that was on one of my sister's social media accounts, and this is another quote from her social media where she said, this is regarding one school that they'd done lectures in, 861 kids received a drug education lecture, 639 to go. I guess that's for one fairly large school. And now what she's doing, in addition to the school lectures, and what she's doing, they've got these stands with brochures, booklets for Foundation for a Drug-Free World, and she's putting them in banks, doctors' offices, apparently Staples stores, and walk-in clinics around Niagara region. And so they'll put them, I guess they'll put them in there, and then people come along and take them. And the danger in that is if they get these, people take these booklets or brochures and read them, and if it leads them into something like a drug rehab, Scientology drug rehab program like Narconon, where they use the high doses of niacin, which have been proven to be dangerous, then, you know, it's a dangerous thing. Plus, they do recruit through this method, so they would end up recruiting some of these kids into Scientology, or their parents, or, you know, as they grow older, they end up falling into Scientology, and a lot of their siblings or parents, brothers, whatever, can follow. So what we did is we teamed up with some of the Toronto activists, those who are fighting against Scientology abuses, Haggis Basher, famous Haggis Basher, and Rumball. What I'll do is I'm going to put their links to their YouTube channels below. They're both, I've a lot of respect for the two of them. They do a lot of work in the Toronto area, and they came out on the train to Niagara Falls so that we would go and visit some of these banks and places to see if any of these brochures are in there, and if not, we'll at least educate the managers on what to look for. We have our own brochure that explains the truth about what Foundation for a Drug-Free World is, because Foundation for a Drug-Free World, they'll never mention that they're Scientology. So the main thing we're educating these managers on is the fact that the information is incorrect, but also that it's a recruitment tool for Scientology. So I'm going to show a little video clip of a few of them. We went in a whole bunch of these banks and credit unions and talk to the managers and stuff. So I'll show a few. I'm not going to drag out the whole lot that we did, but just to give you an idea of, you know, us going in there, showing them the brochures, and one for one, they all said they would not accept any of the materials from the Foundation for a Drug-Free World. Once they found out it was a Scientology recruitment tool and that the information was incorrect, then they didn't want to have anything to do with it anymore. So here's our little video, and it'll give you a little idea what we did anyway. And then just to reiterate, Scientology has been using this tactic of lectures to children for many years. And the reason they do it hidden, they don't mention Scientology, is because the name Scientology is just, as a brand, it's so damaged that just mentioning it would be a detriment to their recruitment efforts. And right now, it seems like they're actually picking up their recruitment efforts using these front groups. So it's something to keep an eye out for. They're all over the place. They're like I said, doing in various organizations, schools and stuff. So, you know, keep an eye out. If you see these stands, the ones that we showed the images for, then, you know, just maybe talk to the manager or just take, I mean, they say take one, well, take them all, whatever, you know, but we don't want this false and dangerous information out there. So anyway, that's our little video, and what we're doing here is just going around and educating various organizations where Foundation for a Drug-Free World might be dumping their false and dangerous information. Thank you for listening and watching. Bye now.